Welcome back to The Short Coat, coming to you from the amazing and intense world of medical school at the University of Iowa Carver College of Medicine. I'm Dave Etler, and wouldn't you know it, summer's over. Here to talk about what they did this summer are my friends, old and new, M2's all. Say hello to Cara Arrasmith.
Hi.
Tyler Pollock. Tyler Pollock is back.
Hi.
She's new here, so give her a break. It's Anjali Puranam.
Hi.
Did I say it right? No, I didn't.
It was close.
So how should I say it?
Anjali Puranam.
Puranam.
Yeah.
You're going to learn that, and I intend no disrespect, but you're going to learn that I am terrible at remembering how to pronounce names. It's a bad thing. Also new to the show is Sophia Nopoulos.
Hi, guys.
Thank you for joining us, you guys. Until med school, summer is all, fun and games. Maybe a part-time job. Maybe you just sat around on your lazy ass for weeks and watched PewDiePie. No judgment.
Yeah.
I'm not going to judge you. But now things have changed, right, Cara?
I thought we'd just go around, kind of give a little quick recap and description of what we all did this summer. So I can go first. I did the SRF, which is Summer Research Fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was in orthopedics and sports med. Go women in ortho.
Yes.
So basically, last fall, I started by looking for a mentor, found one. We worked together to develop a project, write an abstract, which I submitted, I believe February is when abstracts were due. And then we got funding. You could choose a 12-week or a 10-week program. So I did the 12. And then as soon as our classes ended on a Friday, and then that Monday, I started doing research. So mine was kind of a mix. Now that we have the new North Liberty location, I was up there Tuesday through Thursdays, and then I could work remote Friday, Mondays. But yeah, it was very fun. I actually ended up doing 2 projects because my first one got done pretty early. So learned a lot and made some great connections.
I want to know about your project.
Okay. I would love to talk about it.
So glad you asked.
Yes. So I was working with, it's called the Moon Shoulder Instability Group. It's there's 11 centers across the U.S. housed at the University of Iowa. Let's go. So I was mainly looking at the ladder J surgery, which is a type of instability shoulder surgery where it's so wild. They take off part of the coracoid, flip it around, and attach it to the anterior glenoid to create a more stable surface for people who have had
recurrent
dislocations or instability. So it was a prospective cohort, but it's been going long enough that we had almost about 82% 2-year follow-up. So I was looking at this specific
Okay,
now
I need you to explain a few things for me.
Yes.
The dumb one. No, I need you to explain a few things for me, the person who has less medical knowledge.
That's better.
It sounds like you rearranged some bits in there. You took the bits that were in there and not you personally, but they rearranged the bits in there, sort of turn them around backwards and make them work the way that they weren't intended to work.
Yes.
Is that about right?
Yes. Basically, because you have your glenoid, your kind of, this is the shoulder socket.
Mm-hmm.
So you have your glenoid and then your humerus sits in it like that.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the patients, one of the big risk factors is being a contact athlete and being a young male because they typically are in more contact sports. So,
I know about that.
So
Never was.
I'll use that as our frame of reference. This can happen a lot of different ways, but
sure.
Say if you sustain injury, you're powerlifting and you do an overhead jerk and you can dislocate any type of massive force that pops your humerus out. It goes like this and it can bust off part of your glenoid, and then you get a impression fracture on the posterior humerus. So even when they put it back in, you're missing your glenoid and your humerus is like this. So it's way easier to pop out.
I see.
So what they do is they take this other bone sticking off the scapula, same bone, but little process. And then they cut it off, flip it, and then they'll attach it to the glenoid. So it kind of restores that shape.
Clever little
harder.
bastards.
Yeah.
Ortho
Crazy.
people.
Mr. Ladder J was an amazing man.
That's a name?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought
crazy.
it was a description.
Me too.
A ladder J.
No, because it's spelled, I think it's Latarjet.
Oh.
I think
That's
he was
crazy.
I don't know if he was French or what. But yeah, so that was my work. It was really fun. We got together last night. I think there was 5. We had a bunch of students in our class in ortho, but sports med specific, there's about 5 of us. So we got together last night, and a few of the surgeons were able to make it, and we gave our presentations. Because I should have prefaced this. Part of the SRF, you do your project, and then there's a medical student research conference. That will be, I think for us, it's like September 17th, 18th. And so you like have to present what you did this summer in your work. So I will be giving an oral presentation.
Oh,
which is super fun.
not
So
just a poster, but an oral presentation.
Mm-hmm. So it was good. And I was able to submit some abstracts to 2 conferences.
How do they select the oral presenters? Are they like this?
This year is
person's
just
super
first
cool.
come, first serve.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You
But
have
my
to, like,
project is super
electively sign
cool.
up to do. You get to choose whether you want to do an oral or a poster.
Mhm.
I feel like most people choose the poster in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's just easier.
Yeah,
I
I've
don't-
only
I don't
ever
know.
done posters like in
Yeah.
undergrad, so I thought an oral presentation might be cool.
It'll be fun.
It will be fun.
I
I'm
would
excited.
love to be in the audience.
It's in our calendar. We have protected
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I
This
think you
one
guys all
September?
get to go.
Yeah.
All right.
And then you said you did a second project. You got to do a
Yes.
second one.
So I was looking at the first one, it was that same cohort, and basically there's a different way to measure the glenoid to kind of see if they're like you can be on track or off track. So we were looking at that in relation to outcomes. And then second project was same exact cohort, but in order to get to that glenoid, you have to open the subscapularis tendon that goes over it. So there's 2 methods that you can do it. You can either do like a partial L-shaped tenotomy, or you can split it in the middle. So we were looking at patients who had either, and then comparing that to their 2-year outcomes.
And so, what did you find, or do you not want to? Should we leave it?
Leave it for the
Spoilers.
mystery.
Right.
I was
Ooh.
able to submit that abstract to 2 conferences that are happening next year.
That's exciting.
So I'm able to present it's kind of funny because those were the more interesting results than my initial project that I submitted for SRF.
I guess that happens, you know.
Mhm.
What
Like,
can you do?
I know. It'd
You're
be
so
like that.
badass, Cara.
Girl.
Wow.
So ortho girl energy.
Yes.
Thank you. Do you want me to flex now or
Yeah,
later?
please. I would love it now.
All the time, actually.
Yes.
all right.
So I did MECO, medical education and community orientation, I guess.
Sure. Let's say.
And basically I did a 4-week program. You apply in March and you can sign up and list like your top 6 choices for sites that you get kind of placed at. It's kind of like they try and give you your first come or top 3 at least. So, but they said, please don't put any site that you don't want to be
Mm-hmm.
at. And they gave you a list of all the sites, kind of the stipends if they offer any housing if they offer any. And so I just listed 3. I honestly don't remember the 3. I just know Davenport was my top choice.
Can I ask, is it all rural cities in Iowa or?
No, not necessarily. I would say Davenport was not rural at all.
Yeah.
I know there's some in Dubuque, but then there are more rural areas. I would say like Waverly is pretty rural. Fairfield
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Very.
is pretty
Sure,
rural.
yeah.
And then I know there's stuff like clear on the other side of the state too, like near Sioux City and like Council Bluffs and stuff. So it really is kind of where you want to go. And then we heard like a month later, and I would say most people, if not all, got their top choice of where they want to go. I was one of 4 students from here at Mercy One Genesis, and it was really cool. I mean, you got to list all the specialties you wanted to see, and they organized like clinicians that you can follow, whether it's even like associated with the hospital, or sometimes like I went to a pediatric office that was offsite, not like a private office. And the best part is that you got a meal plan, $20 a day that you could use at Starbucks. And so
Okay.
yeah, I was very familiar with the barista there.
Nice.
What did kind of like a day in your life look like during that?
Yeah, it was pretty much 8 to 5. Some days, like surgery days, you had to get there a little earlier. During our first day, it was just orientation. And so they taught us how to scrub in. They took us around the hospital. They took us out to eat and kind of showed us everything. So by the time you got into like your surgery days, you should theoretically know how to scrub in and everything. But the physicians were so kind, and so were the nurses. Everyone was just like, we don't really get a chance to teach students all that often. And so when they get the opportunity, they're really excited to do it.
Yeah, I get the feeling that community hospitals have a different vibe. I mean, I think most people are kind, but community hospitals, it's just a different sort of atmosphere. Little, I don't know. How would do you have anything to compare it to yet?
Yeah, I would say people know everyone at the community hospitals, like even in different specialties. Like here, when you walk through our hospitals here, it's like everyone knows each other in like specific niche specialty areas, but they don't necessarily know other physicians unless they're friends outside of work. But a lot of people know each other within the community hospital, even across specialties, and they introduce you to people that they've seen and they've met. I am short, and so I got, I didn't know.
I didn't notice.
Yeah.
I'm sitting, so it helps.
Oh, okay.
But I got, I didn't know they let 12-year-olds into medical school.
Nice.
Girl.
No.
It was nice. I was like, yeah, me either. I'm not 12.
What? That's news. That's crazy.
But I mean, I went along with it. It was fun. They were really kind. And I got to see so many different specialties, like from anesthesiology to vascular surgery
Ooh.
to radiology. Like it was, and you got to like assist in different procedures.
Oh, cool.
I was just gonna
So
ask
it's not
that.
just shadowing.
It's not just shadowing. It really is, though, the physician and what they are willing to
Okay.
let you experience. Because some physicians, they want you to observe more, and others want you to be able to practice the skills that you have been taught, or to teach you skills that you haven't been exposed to yet. And so I was able to, when I was with the pediatrician, I was able to practice like physical exam skills, but we would do it at the same time. So like he would listen to the heart sound here and then move here, and then I'd put my stethoscope here, and we'd just kind of alternate
Oh, I see. Yeah.
positions,
That's
and
cute.
we'd kind of do it together, which was really nice because then we could talk about things we saw or heard. I was with the cardiologist once, and he had me listen to see if I could hear a murmur. And
Did you?
I there was not one.
Was
And-
it a trick question? What?
It was a trick question. Oh no. He
And
pimped you?
a little bit, but I said there are no obvious signs of a murmur. I edged it, and it was right. I mean, but,
You edged
it. You never know. And then, like during surgeries, like you could hold like the medical tools, and it was really a different experience, a different environment. It was freezing. I was
Yeah.
cold all the
They
time.
usually are. That's what I hear.
All the time, but yeah, it was fun. Some procedures I got to see was an endarterectomy, so a femoral one. So you you isolate the femoral artery, and you kind of have to tie it off so blood flow kind of stops, and then you open it and you remove the plaque buildup in there,
Oh.
Ooh.
and then you sew it back up.
You like suck it out? How do
You
you
like
remo-
never it. It's like kind of really
Ooh.
stuck in there, and so you scrape it out. And that was a really cool experience because I've never seen anything or heard anything like that. I didn't really know what vascular surgeons did before that. And we also did like a AAA stent, abdominal aorta aneurysm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then I was also with a plastic surgeon, which was interesting. And so we did some breast implants, fat grafts,
Nose job.
not a nose job, removal of a suspicious lesion
Oh.
to send to pathology to see if the margins were clean. and the cancer was all removed. And then I was with anesthesiology, so through that we were able to see like general surgery and urologists do some surgeries, and
You said this was only 4 weeks?
this was 4 weeks.
I was
Damn.
a lot.
Crazy.
This sounds crazy.
You got a crash course through.
Yeah, you
clinical
did.
year.
It was a lot, but it was also really fun at the same time.
Sure.
Mhm.
Some days were shorter, so like the radiologists, they were like, please leave at as early as you want. Like, it's not necessarily fun watching us read scans all day.
Mhm.
But they did a great job of like talking through the scans that they did have, and they're like, everyone was like, we want you to enjoy your summer. So
Super cool.
as they're getting closer to 5, they're like, you can go whenever you want to. I stayed because it was interesting, but it was very much a kind of what you wanted, you got out of the experience.
Great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And to clarify, they gave you a stipend to live in Davenport and do that rotation, or?
There was a stipend that you got,
Mhm.
but through this location, housing wasn't provided. So
Oh,
I
okay.
stayed with my aunt and uncle who lived in Bettendorf.
Yeah.
And that's what I would say like the 3 other students did too. They stayed with family out there.
Nice.
Were there
Mhm.
pretty good options, like for people that are from Iowa, that like they would have an option close to wherever that would be, like throughout the state? You know, like there are options for basically anywhere in the state of Iowa where you could be like within a reasonable commute to where like you're from.
Yeah, I would say that. I don't know if it's the same sites that kind of want to participate in the
Mhm,
program every
mhm.
year, but I mean, even where my parents' house is and near Cedar Rapids, there was a site that was like 45 minutes north that could have easily been a commutable distance.
How cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I did the global health elective. So that was a summer across seas, and I think there were a decent amount of global health students. I'm actually not in the global health program, but that went all over. So India, I think some in Africa, but I chose Ecuador mainly because of the Spanish program that offers. So it was you get to choose your weeks. I did 8 weeks, so 2 months. It was actually the longest. I was the first person in the program to show up and the last person to leave, but it was awesome. So got to live with the host family, and one of my favorite parts was they cook for you 3 meals a day. So I had some awesome breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm so jealous. You know, they kind of off topic, but they eat guinea pigs there. It's very common, and I never tried it, but now I'm like,
Did
now
you
that I'm
try it?
gone, I'm very curious. I should have tried it.
What?
I know but it's very
I'll have
common.
to find one for you.
Yeah, well,
What?
Who said that?
Yeah, who said
What?
that?
Must have
You
been the
I have
wind.
one here.
I had a pet guinea pig growing up, and so I was like, oh no, but I think I'd get over that.
Did you
now.
say that?
Immediate
Like
regret.
Yeah, I'd try it now. But anyway, that's completely off topic. So yeah, I was in Ecuador. I was in Riobamba, which is about 10,000 feet elevation. So I was just telling Cara, I didn't get a nice summer weather because it was like 55 degrees there every day. But I liked it. It was beautiful when the sun was out. It was warm. But the program itself, so the first half of the day, you're in clinical. So kind of like Anjali, I was doing a pre-clinicals, which was or clinical rotation almost. So it was nice to get experience in that. And you can choose whatever specialty you're interested in. The program was really flexible. I started out in internal medicine because you kind of just see everything in there. And then I slowly realized that's a lot of gastroenteritis and pneumonia and bronchitis and all that stuff is interesting, of course. I'm glad I got to see it. It was good medicine to learn. But I kind of hitched it out of internal med and tried to explore some other areas. So I did emergency med, I did psychiatry, followed around some psychologists for a while too that worked really closely with the psychiatry team. And I'm kind of biased. I really do like psych, so I really enjoyed that. But that's the first half of the day. And then in the second half of the day of the program, you do 2.5 hours of Spanish class every day. And it's medical Spanish curriculum. So it's you're learning the basics of grammar and conjugations in addition to vocabulary. And you have nice one-on-one sessions with your teacher to talk, kind of role play of a doctor and a patient interaction in Spanish, and basically how best to use Spanish and use the culture of not only Latinx, but also indigenous. There's a big indigenous population in Ecuador that we served in Cacha. And so it was really interesting. They actually didn't speak Spanish. And so that was a obstacle that I came up. They speak Quechua, which is very, very different than Spanish. And so I was in both the hospital and also in Cacha, which is kind of further up in the mountains, serving the indigenous population. So it was.
So do the providers speak Kacha, or
they do? So
Yeah.
they speak. Yeah, they
or
speak.
do they have translators? I was wondering.
You know, it was one thing I found interesting is that their translating system was nowhere near as robust as it is here, and it seemed to be a big obstacle, especially in the more rural indigenous communities, that there'd be a doctor there, but they wouldn't speak Quechua.
Mhm.
And so whether it be, Google Translate, or typically it'd be family members that would come or distant family members, or a
Sure.
community member that spoke Spanish that was able to translate. I think it's, the healthcare system, I could go on and talk how different that is. But one of the things is for medical students, they are required to do a year in the community, specifically like the rural communities. So it'd be like, they're in their last year of their medical school program or their residency, and they're in Cacha or other rural areas. So they're relatively young. They're not yet doctors, but they don't speak Quechua. So that was a lot of the ones doctors that I had followed. Kind of as a contrast to Anjali, most of my time was shadowing. Most of it was trying to figure out what the heck everybody was saying, because it's completely in a different language. I
That's
took Spanish.
stressful.
Yeah, it was stressful, but it was kind of nice knowing that I had no responsibility except for being a fly on the wall, and I wasn't being pimped necessarily. But there was, after I think 3 weeks, I finally had the courage to ask the doctor questions about what was going on, not only the courage, but the Spanish ability to
The
be
language,
like, oh,
right.
okay, yeah, I know what's going on here.
Did your doctors speak, the people that you shadowed, did they speak any English, or was it
No.
all in Spanish?
All in Spanish,
Except
and my
for, like,
host
your
family
host
didn't speak any English too. So that was kind of
all Spanish all the time.
it was all Spanish all the time. And I will say I had
I feel like
Yeah.
you're a brave person. People who
Thank
do
you,
this.
yeah, it
for
was
2 months.
for
like,
2 months.
Did
Yeah,
you start dreaming in Spanish?
I did.
You
only,
did?
only of like the last couple weeks.
Huh. Interesting.
I will say I'm brave, but I'm mostly brave because I went with, shout out to Megan Perry, our class president, and Jackson Snyder. But those other 2 medical students, they went with me, and I actually roomed with Megan, and she had a previous global health experience in Costa Rica. And so I think her Spanish was a little bit more prepared than mine. And so starting out, it was great having her kind of as a buffer when I didn't understand, how to communicate with the host family. But Jackson was only there for 4 weeks, and Megan was only there for 6. So I had the last 2 weeks by myself, but it was good. I had
But
the
by
first.
then you had a little bit of
Yes.
something to work with.
It was fun. I started dreaming in Spanish, and actually meet some other students in the program.
Did you guys rotate together when you were in the hospital, or were
Yeah.
you guys on separate rotations the whole time?
It really depends on what you want to do. So starting out, I was with another student that wasn't from Iowa. They're from New York. But a lot of the students in this program, they come all over from the U.S., and they're typically in like the same age range. So all the students I was with were also incoming M2s. So I worked with a couple others, but it was only like 1 or 2 per doctor. By the 3rd week, I was by myself in internal medicine, and then I decided that I wanted to go to psych, and nobody else wanted to do that. I don't know why. So it was just me, but. And interesting, the classes too, the Spanish classes, it was like typically 1-on-1 or 2 students and 1 professor. So it was great. I got great like oral practice with Spanish. So I think that helped a lot. If it was a big classroom, it'd be really difficult to learn more.
Where were you taking Spanish classes through? Was it like through a local?
Yeah, so the program it's called CACHAMSI. It's CACHA, which is the Indigenous Community Medical Spanish Institute. CACHAMSI for short. I just also found this out not too long ago when I was looking at this program. I just thought, CACHAMSI was it's a fun name. But so they have an office downtown Riobamba, and it's close to the hospital. So after the hospital, you would go home for lunch and then go to this office and chat with. I was in the class with Megan, so I mean there were still English spoken, but our professor mostly spoke only Spanish. It was great. It was a nice little office they had.
Over the summer, I did what's called IMEI, which is Intro to Medical Education at Iowa. I was one of the teaching assistants, so there were 3 of us teaching assistants. We applied probably around the same time, around like February last year, for this position. I think there were like 6 or 8 applicants out of our class that applied. And so what we did is for 6 weeks over the summer, we TA'd for the IMEI program. So the class is up to 18 incoming M1s. We had 15 in our class because it wasn't entirely full, but a good amount of students. And so we basically run a mock med school, essentially. So each of us gave 5 lectures in total for mostly anatomy, but a little bit of foundations. And in addition to like the lectures that we give, we have a lot of, we don't make the schedule. Carrie schedules everything for us, but
Love
we'll
Carrie.
bring in
Carrie Burnett
Shout
is
out.
in charge of the curriculum folks here at the university and at the College of Medicine, and she's also first year,
she does the first semester.
first semester curriculum coordinator. So
she's the queen of all.
yeah.
She makes
Mhm.
things happen.
Yeah,
Exactly.
she kicks ass and takes names.
So she worked with the same people that give the lectures like officially in the fall and coordinated them coming in to give a selection of their lectures for IMEI. So between the anatomy lectures that we gave and then those like foundations and MOHD1 lectures, we had a good selection of the content that they go through. So we would, during the day, like give our lectures, facilitate, and just kind of be there for the other lectures. We wrote exam questions for all of that content and put them together. So over the course of the 6 weeks, they had 4 written exams and then 1 anatomy lab practical.
Putting them through it.
Yeah.
Putting them through it.
It's like it really is like a mini first semester.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tried to simulate it kind of as closely as possible for everything.
And the people who do IMEI, the students who sign who
Yes.
come into the program, why do they do that?
So it's targeted especially for people that have like had taken a lot of gap years and have had like a lot of time away from like a formal education setting, or people that may have not had like a science background in undergrad. So like you obviously have to take all of the same prerequisite classes and like take the MCAT or whatever to get into medical school. But if someone doesn't have like a very strong biology background, we cover a lot of foundations for like the metabolism content and like cell biology, and then like a little bit background on like human physiology. So it's kind of for people that are more anxious about those realms of our curriculum that want a little bit of practice before they come in, because their performance on the exams isn't reflected on like their grades at all. So
Yeah, it's like it's not graded really.
yes, like we give them grades and evaluations for the point of feedback,
Right.
but they are not like the college doesn't know about how they do in IMEI. Essentially, it's just kind of shared with us and then with Carrie. So then if like any concerns come up, the family can, or not the family, sorry, the students can like,
Oh, okay, the family's involved.
there was a family tour that was going on and I saw Dr. Cooper and that's what jumped into my head through this window. But like the students can address their concerns with Carrie kind of before the semester starts.
Love that.
But yeah, so we gave lectures. We also did we used a couple of the cadavers from the dental students. They do anatomy lab in the spring. So we used a couple of those cadavers and did anatomy labs. So the students weren't actually dissecting, but we had the pre-dissected cadavers and we had volunteers come in to facilitate the anatomy labs. And they would have practice with like identifying structures, and so they could see the spatial relationships within the cadavers. And then they did a case-based learning case over the 6 weeks, very similar to what they do in the fall. So they went through a like patient case, very similar to what they'll do in the fall, where they like get more information week by week and they do learning issues. And then they did a one-on-one patient encounter. So kind of the same way that we do in the fall, they do
Or like a standardized patient.
Yes, exactly.
That's cool.
So they have the lecture, like the CAPS lecture of like how to take a patient interview and how to do like the history of present illness and like all of that information and like old carts and whatnot. And then as a group, they do the group simulated patient interview where it's like the 6 of them in the room and they take turns interviewing a simulated patient. And then the next week they did the actual one-on-one where they go up in the clinical suites and have they're recorded and they have to do the interview and take notes and write a clinical note. So they kind of we facilitated one cycle of like the PCS cycle.
Mhm.
Yeah, they get a great head start.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so it's like not even just like, oh, I've seen the brachial plexus before in anatomy, but they actually like get practice like talking to our real simulated patients and like they get a little bit of everything that we
Yeah.
do the
Amazing.
first semester.
Mhm.
Did you do IMEI?
I did not do it as a student, no.
Were any of the TAs prior students of the program?
One of them was, so it was me and like 2 other students, and one of them had done IMEI as a student, which was nice to get his perspective as like how did they run it last year? Because once we
I
started,
think you guys get to pretty much figure out like what you wanna do.
yeah, there was like we met a couple of times at the end of last semester with Carrie, and then we met with Dr. Pizzamenti, who runs like the anatomy program, because those 2 kind of direct the program. We met with them a little bit like last semester, but then once the summer started, we were just kind of like thrown into it, and it was like, okay, figure it out, do whatever you want. Like
Yeah.
it's a very student-led program, like in
Mhm.
its entirety.
Mm.
So that was nice.
Mhm.
Well, very cool. It sounds like you all had amazing summers.
Absolutely.
I was just here
Yeah.
doing my thing,
Holding down the fort.
holding down the fort.
Yeah.
Someone's gotta.
Shortcoats, if you have something you want to say about today's show, something you want to hear about someday, a question you have, go to theshortcoat.com/tell us and send us a little message. I love hearing from you guys. Otherwise, that's our show. Until next time, I'm Dave Etler saying, don't let the bastards get you down.
Don't
Talk to you soon. Say bye, everybody.
Bye.
Welcome back to The Short Coat, coming to you from the amazing and intense world of medical school at the University of Iowa, Carver College of Medicine. I'm Dave Etler, and we're here to talk about gap years. Why, what, where, maybe even who. I don't know. Here to talk about that are my best buds, M2's all. Hi, Cara Arrasmith.
Hello.
What's new, Tyler Pollock?
Not much.
Greetings, Anjali Puranam. God damn it.
Puranam.
Puranam.
Hi.
You're so close.
And holy crap, it's Sophia Nopoulos again.
Hello.
Cara, did you go to medical school right after college?
I did not. I took 3 gap years.
3 gap years.
Mhm. I was an old fart with bad knees when I started.
Oh.
Good Lord. All right. Well, what do we have to talk about with gap years? I mean, so there's I don't know if it's a debate, but there's differing opinions on whether gap years are a good idea or not necessary, or they cost money basically because you're sort of not. The sooner you get into med school, the sooner you start maximizing your income and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I tend to think it's an individual choice, obviously.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think?
I think I actually looked up a stat right before here that out of I think it was 2023, the AMC said out of accepted MD students, 73% had taken at least
Wow.
one gap
Wow.
year.
That's crazy.
That's
Which
more
is
than I
crazy.
expected.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
way more than I
Yeah.
expected.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I know for me personally, when I graduated undergrad, I wanted to do research. I thought I wanted to get my PhD.
Mm.
Oh,
So
I didn't know
worked
that
in a-
lore about you, Cara.
Yes,
That's
I actually
cool.
started college as a history major.
Oh my god! I
Okay,
did know
Cara
that.
Lore.
I did know that.
I thought you were an ortho bro since the day you were born.
No, I did
Am
not.
I crazy, or were
didn't-
you also considering being a chef?
I was.
Yeah, I was gonna say this. Kara's so
Yes.
No wonder you have a
Graduated high
cooking
school, my
Instagram.
mom thought I should not go to college. Not that I shouldn't go to college, but she thought I should go to culinary school. And I was like, no, I want to be the cool history teacher.
cool. Yeah.
Wow.
They all were. They all were.
I loved my history teacher. He was amazing.
I had beef with my
Social
history
studies
teacher,
teachers,
actually.
the coolest of the school.
My social studies teacher was weird.
was
I
gonna
had
say,
beef with
Accepted
mine.
so, but weird.
Oh.
All right.
But yes, anyway.
Mr. Grunin.
Uh.
Mr. Gruden. Anyway.
Wow, it's gonna be
Shout out to
cooler.
Mr. Grunin. I
Yeah.
hope you're still kicking.
But yeah, so that was why I took 3 gap years. So I worked at a biochemistry lab at Iowa State for 2 years. And during that time, I realized research was not for me. So I'm glad I found that out before getting into a PhD program. And then my brother was in medical school at the time. All my friends were in medical school. And basically my brother, he's an older brother, but he is amazing. I'll say that, as much
Aw.
flack as we give each other. And we're very similar. So he was kind of the one who was like, you should at least look at getting some clinical oriented job. I think you might like medical school. So I actually applied, didn't get in. And then I got a job scribing at an orthopedic clinic in Des Moines. And then that's what put me on the ortho track.
Yeah.
And then I got in this year. So it was a mix of kind of career direction change, and I got rejected the first round.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder if I guess I don't know the stats, if med school is getting, more
So
competitive.
competitive.
But
Mhm.
I wonder if that's one of the main reasons is not only that, because same thing
It's
for me.
super
is,
common for people not to get in on the first try.
I didn't get on the first try. And that's one reason why that's the reason why I took my extra gap year, is because I was like, wow, I guess I need to get more experience, or more clinical experience, whatever that may be, which is what I did, and build my resume up for the next application. So I
What
wonder
did you
if,
do during your gap year?
So I took 2 gap years. The first one is because I don't know how people do it. First, you didn't take a gap year?
I did not take any gap
Anjali,
years.
did you?
I did.
You did?
I took 3, class of
Oh,
2021.
awesome.
Let's go.
Well, I don't know how people do it, because not when you're in your last year of college, you have to apply
Mm-hmm.
for medical school. And I was like, I just kind of want to enjoy my last year, and I'll apply the next year, because you got to apply a whole year in advance. And so I already knew I was going to take a gap year out of that, and then got denied the first round. And so that's why I had 2 gap years. But I was born and raised in Iowa City. And so I was like, I'm going to take this time to get the hell out of here.
Oh, okay.
And I went to Austin, Texas. I had some family down there. And so completely different vibe down there. I actually was really lucky, and I volunteered at this free clinic, and that turned out to be they were looking for a manager, and so I became like the clinic manager after that. So it's a nonprofit. It was a small organization, but another reason why I decided to go to Ecuador this summer was to work on my Spanish. Many of our patients down there were uninsured and Spanish speaking, and so I really enjoyed my time down there, and definitely got the clinical experience that I don't know, made me look like a better applicant the second time around. But I agree that gap years are kind of your own personal opinion, and I'm so glad I did mine.
Nice.
I loved it. It was nice to get out.
Tyler, you didn't do a gap year, right?
I didn't do a gap year, and I would totally agree that it's like a lot of them, like, it is personal choice. And I know a lot of people that when I was an undergrad were like, no, I'm planning on taking a couple gap years. Like, I want to enjoy my time, and I want to like mentally recharge and reset between undergrad and going to med school. But then I also think that it's like, because of how competitive it is the like, apply the first time, and then if you don't get in, like, take the feedback from like the Office of Admissions will give you a lot of feedback most times of like, hey, these are the things that maybe we would like to see on your application. And so like, it just, not choice, but like circumstance kind of puts you into taking a gap year.
Yep.
But I was fortunate enough to get in my first round of applying straight from undergrad.
What a smug bastard.
I know.
They're built different.
Kara told me we were doing this. Kara told me we were doing this episode today, and I was like, "Oh, I am not going to have much to say." But I worked a lot. I had a couple of clinic patient-facing jobs while I was an undergrad. That made me a strong applicant, I guess. Yeah.
Nice.
But no, I didn't take any gap years.
Anjali?
I took 3 gap years also. I didn't know when I graduated undergrad if I wanted to go to med school or law school.
Oh.
That's so cool.
You guys suck. Because here I am stumbling through life, and we've got, chef history doctor, we've got whatever it is you said.
Not much.
Got lawyer, doctor. I mean, come on.
I was really obsessed with Criminal Minds growing up. So in undergrad, I got a minor in criminology.
What I'm learning about Anjali
I
is
love
that she sort of structures her life around television.
Yeah,
I
a little
love
bit. A little bit. I am easily gullible into things.
Fine.
So like Criminal Minds, yeah, sign me up for a criminology class and I loved it. It was great. My research was also in criminology in undergrad, and so my mentor was funnily enough, she started her life wanting to go to med school, and then she changed and became a criminologist in her undergrad career.
Wow.
And so I was sitting here and I was like, well, I don't really know what I want to do. And I made all these pros and cons lists. And I was like, you know what? I need more time. I need to figure it out. And so the first year and a half after I graduated was really deciding if I wanted to do law school or med school, and also just being 22, I think. Yeah. And then I decided med school, took the MCAT, and then I became a scribe also at the maternal fetal medicine department here at the university. And it was the best thing I've ever done in my life, I would say.
So you're telling me you didn't like binge Grey's Anatomy on your gap years and be like, now this is why I want to go into medicine?
I've been watching Grey's Anatomy since I was like 10.
So the thought was in there.
It was in
Yeah,
there.
it was
That's
in there.
why. It was Grey's
You had to
Anatomy
make
and
a
Criminal
choice,
Minds.
yeah.
Yeah.
We do have a dual degree possibility here of MD JD.
I looked into that actually
Ooh.
before applying, but the thing that kind of was a lot was that you had to take the MCAT, take the LSAT. You had to apply separately to both programs, get in separately to both programs, and then combine it.
That's
see.
insane.
Which
That's
was-
a lot.
A lot
That
of
Yeah.
makes sense why I've never met anyone.
Yeah,
in that.
I don't think it's actually been an option that anybody has taken in a long time.
Oh,
But
I
it's
kinda
there,
loved it. Yeah.
listeners, if you want.
It is. And if you're interested, go for it.
Maybe do them separately.
Yeah.
You don't save any time either. You do all the years of both programs. It's just that I don't know how they would combine it into,
Yeah.
like they kind of weave it together somehow.
It's niche, but it sounds really cool if
Mhm.
that's what you're interested in. Yeah.
I wonder if they do it similarly to like the MSTP program where they like do the first 3 years and then go get a law degree.
Nobody
And
knows.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's literally nobody knows how they do it.
Yeah.
Someone
Has it
one
been
of our
done
listeners
before?
Nobody's
find
done
out.
Yeah.
Googling
someone
it
find
right
In
out.
a long time. Oh.
Do we still have the program? I don't know.
It's
Maybe
there.
not.
It's on the website. I mean,
There are a bunch of schools that do crazy programs like that. Like
it's hard enough to do med school. I'm not,
Right,
Yeah.
I know there's one that one of my friends was looking into that's like an MD-MS program out of Colorado where you get a master's of aerospace engineering.
Oh,
Mhm.
wow.
So you can go
yeah.
be like a space doctor at NASA.
Yeah.
Those
haven't-
people are so cool. Like I never would have thought about that.
Yeah,
There's
so
an
you do 2 years preclinical,
Yeah.
and then you go get your master's in aerospace engineering, and
What
then
brings
you
you
do.
to that? Like
You want to go work for NASA as a space doctor?
I know, but like people who has that at 22 be like,
Mhm.
man,
That kind of drive, I know.
yeah, I really
I think
want to
they
be
take
a
like
space
3
doctor, yeah.
people a year or some shit.
Yeah.
So it's
Wow.
crazy.
I mean, good for them. That's cool.
I'm just like, imagine like getting drinks with someone at the bar. Like, you know, your friend group brings in someone. You're like, oh, what do you do? And they're like, oh, I'm a doctor in space.
No, for
Yeah.
real.
I have to leave.
I
can't
can't
be your
be around
presence.
you.
I
It's
gotta
so
go.
I
cool.
gotta go. So for Gap Year people and Tyler, like your patient experiences, has anything that like you learned or experienced kind of come back to help you in med school so far?
I'll jump in. I'll say definitely because I had a lot of research in my undergrad
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't have a lot of face-to-face clinical experience. And so being in Texas working for a free clinic was awesome experience where I was seeing patients, interviewing patients. I was able to, not only shout at the doctors, but also listen to hearts and lungs.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a clinical experience that I needed that has definitely, I think, gave me a head start for when it comes to like clinical and professional skills,
Mhm.
our CAP sessions and how to do exams. And so it was the knowledge of, just the base knowledge of clinical skills that I think really helped me.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the fetal diagnosis and treatment clinic, ultrasound clinic here as a scribe. and I was live scribing. So as the physician was counseling the patient, I was typing up the note at the same time. And through that, because we are one of the biggest centers in the state, we saw all of the patients from Iowa and from surrounding states, and it was high risk situations. So like fetal differences, maternal differences, and I saw a lot of the things that we learned in our genetics in MOHC1, the conditions that were like, 1 in a million. I saw those here as a scribe, and I listening to the counseling of those conditions and knowing the follow-up of those conditions really, I would say, helped understand how they were being presented to us in lecture.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I'm waiting for my time to shine. I think we get ortho a little bit in Mod 4.
We got it at some point, right?
I've been floundering all last year. I need
We're getting
my
close.
one unit, yes.
I feel like you're bucking the stereotype of the ortho bro.
She is.
I am a power lifter. I feel like that's a big stereotype.
Well, okay.
Like
It's
lifting,
like-
all the Dr. Glockenflecken is like, oh, bro, what's your bench max? That is the ortho residency interview. But that, I mean, at least from being in North Liberty, kind of around the orthopods this summer, I just think they're so fun.
Orthopods.
I
know. I love that.
I also love calling
Orthopods.
myself
My
an
father,
aspiring
my father was a
orthopod.
PA, and he always used to say orthopods, and
Yeah.
That's
I
so
like it.
cute.
Interesting.
I think it's fun, but no. They're just all fun. The clinic I worked at in Des Moines, that's my favorite job I've ever worked at. The docs were so nice and engaging, and they all are genuinely passionate. Like we had one doc, he didn't perform surgery anymore, but he was 83, still seeing patients because he just loved it so much. He didn't
It's the
want to
grind
retire.
set.
It is the grind set.
He could still max out on his bench.
I bet,
He
bro.
did. He was also 6'6".
I bet
So
he could lift
that's-
more than me now.
It's one of the
Yeah.
only
Oh, yeah.
specialties that I feel short in. For our listeners, I'm a
That's-
6-foot woman and I feel short.
Yeah,
in
that's
North Liberty.
surprising.
It's wild.
Yeah. So amazing. When you say you're a power lifter, is there what's your max?
Okay, my bench is not my best.
How's your deadlift?
My deadlift is good. She's kicking. My bench, so I had a competition last April and I hit 145 on bench, and then my deadlift was 385.
That's
So my
Wow.
goal is 405 for this upcoming April.
And
You
how
can
many bits is
deadlift
that?
me.
Yeah, for reps, Dave.
Jeez.
For reps.
Christ.
But I only do bench and deadlift competitions. I haven't done the national ones. They include squat, and
Okay.
my squat's decent, but my knees are bad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Fair enough.
My homies hate a squat.
I know.
It hurts my neck. Like the bar resting on my
Yeah.
neck.
Doing it wrong.
Oh, we
Oh,
can
okay.
fix
I think I am doing it wrong.
We can fix that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go squat together.
When I was in undergrad, I worked here at the university as a nursing assistant in the medical ICU. So that was really fun. Just kind of getting that experience with a lot of different high acuity patients, and just I don't know, I wasn't being paid to know what was going on, but kind of just getting that experience, working with patients. And then also a nursing perspective, I think, is something that we
Yeah.
aren't really taught or interact with much. We do have a lot of good interprofessional development
Yeah.
times worked into our schedule, but getting to see how the nurses interact and communicate with the doctors, especially in such a high acuity setting, and then just kind of being in the chart and looking through patient charts as they're really sick, and kind of getting an idea of what's going on really helped with our case-based learning sessions, and knowing how to read a set of vitals and lab values, and what's abnormal that's kind of a problem, or what's really a problem. And I think kind of getting that perspective helped a lot with that. And then also just kind of being generally familiar with how our hospital works and where things are have been really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, Shortcoats, if you have something you want to say about today's show, something you want to hear about, question you have, go to theshortcoat.com/tell us, send us a message. Otherwise, that's our show. Until next time, I'm Dave Vettler saying, don't let the bastards get you down. Talk to you soon. Say bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Welcome back to The Shortcoat, coming to you from the amazing and intense world of medical school from the University of Iowa, Carver College of Medicine.
Whoa.
I'm Dave Vettler. And the question I have for you is, can you justify a random gap year to a fictional school that you fictionally want to get into. Here to try are my besties, all M2s. Everything she wants is everything she sees. It's Cara Arrasmith.
Let's go.
Back in black, they hit the sack. It's Tyler Pollock.
Howdy, howdy.
She's a killer queen. It's Anjali
Last name redacted.
Okay. It's
Restricted
Anjali.
access.
It's Anjali. I gotta say it. Puranam. No.
Puranam.
Puranam.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it. She's never ever getting back together with you. It's Sophia.
Oh,
Sophia
hey guys.
Nopoulos.
Mm.
Reach behind you there, Tyler, for a bowl full of randomly generated gap year activities. Your job is to reach in, grab one, and then tell the admissions interviewers, who look remarkably like the rest of us in this room, about it.
Am I telling you what it is, or am I just...
I think what we're going to do is we'll have the admissions interview note, like, hey, I see you had a gap. I see you had a year where you weren't in school. Tell us about that. That's how they will start you off. And then you can start justifying your gap year.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Mm-hmm.
Let's give it a shot.
All
I
right.
only kind of know what's
So,
going on,
Tyler,
but that's fine.
Looking at your very extensive and very impressive CV,
Oh my God, thank you.
it looks like you took a gap year. Would you like to tell us
I
what you did
did.
during that time?
So what I did was I performed open mic nights exclusively using medical puns. And so what I
in.
wanted to do was really just kind of live, eat, sleep, and breathe medicine. And so I really immersed myself in the medicine comedy culture and kind of integrated that into my day-to-day. And also medical terminology is like learning a whole nother language. And so had to practice that before starting school. So I'm one step ahead of my peers.
Amazing. What's your favorite medical pun? Oh,
God, I know you were going to ask me that.
I was like, come on.
My God, my mind is completely blank now.
Okay, note for gap year people. Think about questions like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway, continue.
Oh,
That's super niche. How do you think that's going to help you in your career?
You know, I think that humor is healing. And so getting able to, crack a joke with your patients and getting to know them on a personal level is very important.
Good. Very good.
Smart.
Other than not having a medical pun ready, which if you had actually done this, you would definitely.
Yeah. If I knew this prompt, I would have prepared my type 5,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Type 5.
I think that's
know.
a stand-up term. I don't
Okay.
know.
Oh.
All right.
You already, yeah. I was going to go with it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, type 5.
Yeah.
All right. Pass it on to somebody else.
All I can think of is like those Valentine's Day like science things
Mhm.
Oh,
that-
yeah.
that are not, I don't know if I can say them.
I'm like,
Yeah, you can.
Like the DNA helicase ones.
What?
You guys have never seen these?
what is it?
It's like I want to be your DNA helicase because I want to unzip your genes.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I remember that from like high
Mhm.
school bio.
Mm.
It's a classic.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, I have mine.
All right. Interviewers.
So I see that you took an extensive time off away from school. Can you tell us about what you were doing during that time?
Yeah, so I took 5 gap years.
Mhm.
And during this time, I was actually researching the history of bubble wrap popping techniques.
Oh.
And I know that may sound obscure, and it kind of is, but it really got me.
Well,
some
everybody
great-
likes a good bubble wrap.
Yeah,
pump, so-
exactly. It's healing,
Yeah.
right? But it got me some great research experience. And I did this for 5 years, and it was a completely different realm of non-medicine for me. And so it was great to see if this was something I was interested in. And I think that you guys would be surprised to hear about the history of the bubble wrap popping.
I would like to hear more about that.
How dare you ask?
Since you brought it up.
Yeah, so back in the day when bubble wrap was invented, they would pop the bubble wrap as kind of like an ASMR. It was pleasing to people. And so that's why it got so big. Everybody was like, "Wow, it's so beautiful."
I didn't
So
know.
it
I
wasn't
didn't-
used for packaging?
Yeah, I
back
It
in the
wasn't
day?
it wasn't used for packaging.
Oh.
Yeah, it was not used for packaging back in the day. It was simply made out of an accident. A little air in the packaging wrapping, and it turned to this. And it was the family of this man that accidentally created that ended up loving it. And then that just kind of spread throughout this small town in Nebraska where it was created and became this really big thing. You guys don't remember those bubble wrapping popping commercials?
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I mean, the Sealed Air
the
company is were the inventors of it. I do remember that. but
exactly.
beyond that-
Yeah. And became a big multi-million-dollar thing.
Yeah.
And one thing about me is I'm a curious individual. I was very curious in the history of this, and I did a lot of research. I did a lot of field research in it, and so I think it really honed my skills in for medical school and my curiosity, and I think it was a great experience.
So you said you spent 5 years doing this research, but I don't see any other like degrees on this
Oh.
CV. So like, what'd you get out of that?
So I did, although I didn't have any degrees, I did write a couple papers.
Oh,
So I'm a first author on the history of bubble wrapping from Nebraska. Guys. Yeah, so I don't think it's gotten much attention, I will say.
Sometimes that happens.
Yeah, it is kind
I don't
of
think
for-
we're not gonna take points off.
Yeah,
I'll have to give that a read,
is.
though.
Yeah, please. I would love that.
It'll be the first time that it's been looked at since
Yeah.
publication.
Yeah, it's
The impact score. I mean,
what journal
0.2.
did it get published in?
my diary. But it's open to the public. It's online. It's,
diary is open to the public.
so yeah, it was published there.
So,
So-
in your opinion, what is the superior technique? Are you a single bubble popper? Is it a twist?
Oh, yeah. I'm glad
Are
you
you
asked.
like a lie on the floor and roll back and forth over
I'm
it?
glad. Well,
A
it
little
really
stomp?
depends on what kind of healing you're into.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mm.
So personally, for me, again, it's a personal preference. I like to stand on it barefoot and pop it.
yeah.
It's kind of not only like a foot massage, but it's also it's have you guys heard of grounding when you kind of take your shoes off and you ground on the earth? It's grounding bubble tech
Bubble tech
way.
And then you post the videos online and make money.
And make money. Yeah, well,
on your OnlyFans. Yeah.
also on my online
I
journal.
bet that would work,
that
actually.
would totally work.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
You'd go
Has
viral on
nobody done
TikTok.
that? Oh.
So,
Oh, it's
yeah,
got to be out there somewhere.
I had to do it for 5 years to pay for this
Okay.
application.
Oh,
So
okay,
that's
research is not cheap.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's not cheap.
That's the real Sixth Sense right there.
Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
It is.
Yeah.
Amazing.
What happens when they defund research?
Yeah. Oh my God, can you imagine? The researchers now have to post feet pics in order to fund the research.
Yeah.
Oh.
Check. I'm kidding.
Very good. You're in.
Woo.
Uh,
Bullshit out of my ass.
Yes.
Oh, good heavens.
Miss Producer Ma'am.
Oh, you didn't put yours back in, did you?
No, I've just been
It's
fidgeting
all right.
with it.
It's all right.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
All right, Cara
Mhm.
Arrasmith.
Mhm.
It looks like you did some gap years. Can you tell me what you did in that time?
Yeah, actually, I took my 3 gap years and I put them to use creating an annual award show for local bacteria in our community.
Uh-huh.
For bacteria.
For bacteria, yes. I'm very big advocate of community health and public health in general. So I wanted people to be more aware about the bacteria in their environment, what they're coming in contact with, because it's not all bad. You have so many little bacteria in your body that are helpful. So I want to make people aware of that. So I created an award show. We had stuff such as best flagella, most
Classic.
likely to cause dysentery. We had
That's a popular one, I'm sure.
STDs, do's and don'ts.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Did you give out little tiny statues to the bacteria?
They were plushies.
Plushies.
That looked like the bacteria. So they got a little plushie
Little
of
tiny
themselves.
plushies.
Yes,
And
that
who
they
gave-
could then pollinate on.
Who gave the best acceptance speech?
Oh, it was Pseudomonas.
Oh.
Knocked my socks off. Let me tell you what, that girl,
Yeah.
She knows how to
really
deliver
wrench your
speech.
heart out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Aw.
Mhm.
Amazing.
How does one get invited?
Actually, it's a pretty exclusive club. You have to be a member. So if you all are interested, you can go to bacteriaawardshow.org.
.org.
.org. It's $50 a month.
Ooh.
That goes right into my pocket.
It's premium. So this is how you pay.
So this is how I pay
Yeah.
for applications.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a very good project. I think it prepared me very well for the microbiology and infectious disease aspect of medical school.
Yeah.
And I think it's just amazing to always be in touch with all of the little organisms floating around you.
Yeah. So
Where'd you collect samples from for
Oh.
your
Everywhere.
who was around?
I went to McBride Lake.
Ooh.
Got,
Mhm.
I didn't want to exclude anyone. I wanted everyone to feel very included. So we
Mm.
got the waterborne bacteria and protozoa. We did local dirt samples, both on campus and then also in the more like parks area. Took some leaves, grew them off there, did some tap water. I actually took one of my Petri dishes. I snuck into the medical school before I was hopefully accepted, and I held it under the hand air
Oh.
dryer.
The hair.
Oh.
I always think about that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Those air dryers, like throwing up gross.
Where do you think
bacteria.
I got Pseudomonas? And she
Amazing.
made her award-winning speech.
Did
Amazing.
you culture the brain rock?
Oh.
I felt that would be an outlier.
Oh,
Mhm.
I did not want to.
So much
Mhm.
possibility.
and that's
Yeah.
great research design, and I commend you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Did you do any anal swabbing? I bring this up because years ago we had a pathology. We had a separate pathology class. We don't do that anymore. It's all integrated. But we had a separate pathology class, and the pathologist, who was a wonderful lady, was always surprised at how many people could not find bacteria from their own swabs. She's like, "Are you getting that? They're there. Like,
Wait, is this a more common thing?
To anal swab?
Yeah.
I've never heard of
I don't know. Like, I think
I-
the idea was to get, was to culture your own anus bacteria.
Yeah.
And they were
like,
swabbing it themselves?
Grow. They're doing their own.
You guys
swabbing
have
on
never done that?
themselves.
You didn't do that in high school biology?
No, we just did
No.
the cheek swabs.
Yeah, we did.
Oh,
cheeks.
we did the cheek swabs, but
You did both
other
cheeks?
cheek swabs. No, I'm kidding. We
She
never
was
did
always
that.
surprised that
I've never
nobody
done
could
that.
ever get their cultures to grow.
They weren't getting in
They
there
weren't
enough.
swabbing right.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. We did not. We didn't want to risk C. diff kind of stealing the
No.
show.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
she takes over wherever she is. So.
Yeah.
She really do.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Accepted.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You're in.
Thank you.
You're in. Okay.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
There's so many slips in there.
So, Miss Puranam, it looks like you took a few gap years. Would you like to explain what you were doing in that time?
Yeah, actually, I took about 6 months off. And I was just really curious about where my inner appendix was. And so I just went a little soul searching for my inner appendix.
Oh.
Aren't all appendices inner?
You would think that, but an appendix is really, I think, a state of mind. Like,
Oh.
Mm.
you might have one, you might not have one, depending on like physically if it was removed from your body. But I think that when I look inside my own soul and I see an appendix, and even if you don't have an appendix, you could see that for yourself. I think that I spent a lot of time learning anatomy and looking inside of myself, doing these different scopes, looking at other people's different scopes. And a lot of the time, people just had the vibe of an appendix, even if they didn't
Oh.
have one.
So, like, what is the vibe of an appendix?
Yeah.
It's just, that kind of vintage. Like,
Oh.
the appendix is like technically an organ that like really just sits there. And
Yeah.
you can have it, you can not have it. It really doesn't really change.
Who knows if it even does anything?
Exactly. And it really is just like that vintage vibe, the old soul, like the thing
It's
that
like the cottage core girly
Exactly.
Ooh.
Of organs.
the organs.
Mhm.
yeah.
exactly. It's like we don't want any granola girl energy. Like
Mhm.
it's very much cottage core
Mm.
She
energy.
listens to Benson Boone.
So do you think you could be able to look at someone and be like, you have the vibe of an appendix, like you've got that in there?
Yeah, it was like a 6 month kind of like I sat with other people looking for the same thing. We kind of meditated together. We found each other's energies. We all were kind of looking for that same thing. And it really is something that the more you sit with it, the more it makes sense. Like at first glance, you're like, what is this? Inner what? Like you said, everyone's appendix is on the inside, but not necessarily.
Yeah.
It's like you're opening your third eye, but it's your appendix.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like
so looking forward into your career in medicine, how do you plan to apply what you've learned to like patient care?
Yeah, definitely. I just think that having this own like experience where I'm searching for something that not necessarily everyone understands, it really gave me a new appreciation for differences around the world and thoughts and perspectives and how everyone approaches medicine and healing in a different way, and understanding that sometimes it's just a vibe and it's not necessarily something physical is, I feel like, an important thing just to have in the back of your head in case you come across a situation where people want to have a more a conversation about healing that is not about the physical healing. It's about like the inner healing.
So
of
much of
one's
medicine
appendix.
in these times is vibes based.
Yeah.
I practice
I mean,
vibes-based
yeah.
medicine.
I mean, sometimes the vibe is vaccines are bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes
And
I don't have that vibe.
Yeah.
Sometimes the vibes are vaccines are good. You know, like you just got to go with the vibes.
Exactly.
Do you
Sometimes
feel-
it's giving raw milk and sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
Do you feel
Always getting
qualified
milk
to assist your patients on them finding their own appendix?
I think so. And again, we're not talking about like a physical appendix.
Yeah.
Which hopefully at some point I'll be able to assist them in finding as well. But like the inner appendix, yeah.
Can you walk us through a little
Yeah.
bit of your
Is this like
practice?
Yeah.
Oh,
is this like a tarot
definitely.
card reading?
Okay.
Like you read? Okay, no, I'm ready.
So we're all going to sit and we're going to close our eyes
Okay.
and just
Thank you.
take a deep breath. And I just want you to picture an appendix, whatever that is to you.
Uh-oh. I
Just-
pictured a little too hard.
yeah.
Sorry.
Just close your eyes and just kind of try and shape it in the way you want it to be shaped. And then take a deep breath in
Mine's square.
and out. Exactly. Mine is like those 3D hexagons.
Mm.
And
You know the movie Moana? Mine's
Yeah.
shaped like Maui's hook.
Nice.
exactly.
Nice.
What is that? It's like the Kiki or the
Ooh, Booba and Kiki.
Booba and Kiki.
Yes.
Mine's giving Kiki. That's just how I
Ooh.
imagine
Yes.
it.
Giving la boo boo.
Yeah. And now that we've all have our version of our appendix in our mind, I think that we are all finding joy from it and just channeling that emotion, finding that inner link to your appendix is really going to help you overcome different obstacles. If you imagine yourself with Maui's hook, just going towards anything that you're facing, any challenge, and overcoming that, or with your labubu as you throw it at whatever
She's so
you're facing.
strong.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And as you move through life, just having that connection on the inside is really going to help you overcome any obstacle, physical, mental, spiritual, and it'll help you guide yourself, and you will meet other people on the same path. And so we can all take a deep breath together and open your eyes. And that is how you find your inner appendix.
Can we,
Girl,
you
that
guys,
worked.
my
That was
fellow
beautiful.
admissions interviewers, can we actually make her dean right now?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Absolutely.
she's so
100%.
Dean
in
of the med school? I feel like that's totally warranted.
Yeah, you
In
took us
this
on a
situation.
journey, and I feel
Yeah.
calm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel grounded.
I
Amazing.
feel at inner peace.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I do. Inner appendices.
Yeah.
Peace. Beautiful.
Shortcoats, if you have something you want to say about today's show, something you want to hear about someday, question you have, go to theshortcoat.com/tell us and send us a message. Otherwise, that's our show. Until next time, I'm Dave Etler saying, don't let the bastards get you down. Say bye, everyone.
Bye.